Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with just the guy who we got in here, man. We have Core Reg in the building, and it's also me, man, Memphis Chris. If you don't know, now you know. And we are, on the Warmup podcast. Man, this is new. It's just us two, so it's gonna be real quick.
Never been done before.
Never been done. It's the first time ever on live. This is a place where we talk about sports, current events, and everything in between through the lens of black culture, man. We're here every Tuesday. Please, come through, hit the like button, subscribe. If you like it, hit the notification bell, you know what I'm saying? So you know when you get the new drops or the new drops are going to come through. Again, it's every Tuesday. But if you forget, YouTube will help you out and just send you those alerts. Also, there are social media platforms that we are on. We are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Reddit. Grindhouse NTWK. Feel free to follow, subscribe, comment, tell a friend that, hey man, go ahead and subscribe to them too. All that stuff helps us. And again, if you're not on the YouTube side of things, you can check us out on the audio platform, whoever gives you your favorite podcast to listen to. And even Spotify, man. Now you can even find us on video via Spotify. So again, like it, tell a friend, share it. All that stuff helps us because it tells the algorithm that there are people who are wanting to listen to us. So with that said, anything else you want to talk about or say or whatever, get off your chest? Get off your core.
Thanks for holding it down while I was out, I guess. That's it.
Yeah. So, we're going to just really jump into this real quick, man. We're going to do a recap session, man. This, Core Reg was out for about 3 months, you know what I'm saying? He was in Facebook jail, and also he was in Monopoly jail. I mean, he was deported, he was re-imported. So yeah,
had a lot going on.
He had to go get his papers, man. He's really illegal alien. So he's just gonna go ahead and just recap some of the things that we talked about in some of the earlier parts of the year, and he's gonna give his hot takes because he said he had a lot of hot takes. So, so with that said, man, we'll just jump into it, man. The first thing, man, is Jada and Will. The smack, it happened. A lot of talk about that. What were your thoughts on the Will Jada thing, man? Who team were you on? You was on Jada's side?
You over here talking about patience and stuff. Like, if I had to hear or hot takes, if I had to hear one more hot take about Will and Jada, I'd have to slap somebody myself.
Ooh, okay.
I do want to say, like, the episodes y'all did covering it, because I was here the first time when it happened live, and we all felt the ripple effects, when it happened in the real world. But to see y'all dissect it again with the special guest Empress, I really like the note y'all ended in, and just wanted to give a shout out to her, and thanks for coming through to the podcast. But the one thing I'll say is I didn't really disagree with none of y'all points. I thought y'all had really good points there. I would say a different perspective I would have is, I think y'all were talking about one point of, like, there shouldn't be an expectation on men. Like, if we're saying women want to strive for equality or whatever, there shouldn't be an expectation that, oh well, men still have to do certain things. If you want equality, like, get equality, which is everybody fend for themselves. Mm-hmm. But I will say, while I don't disagree that there's not an obligation, I do think whenever it's a transition period, whenever there's a group, and there's never anything as like a real true equality. It's something we could strive for, a more perfect balance. You're never gonna have equality. Men are never gonna be women are never be men.
Yep.
Which is different.
Yeah.
But that being said, if we are in like a patriarchy, or if there's a disadvantage on one group, we get even taken away from members. So if there's a disadvantage from one group to another, you can approach that with a different spirit, being the oppressor. Mm-hmm. Like, you can approach it like we see, the majority in this country, where it's just like, okay, y'all not slaves no more, but we won't tell you. Or, you gonna have Jim Crow, and you can make it difficult and be like, well, you asked for equality, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Or you can kind of lean in and be like, understand there was a disparity there, and in part of helping you become self-sustaining, that we can kind of, look out for you. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe we don't, when you ask us for help, we can help you. Mm-hmm. We don't just do things for you. We don't want to baby you, but if we're asked for help, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong for men to help women.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I disagree with. But
Yeah.
I don't think y'all was even going that far with it. Was just to say like, it's because people are asking for equality doesn't mean that we can't still stand up and show up for them. I think we should. That's a good spirit to have.
Yeah. And I think a part of that was more so that we just wanted to illustrate that, you know, everyone has a responsibility, you know, and in that particular dynamic, you know, in the male-female dynamic where there's a relationship, the responsibility is to each other, and through each other also, like, you protecting them from maybe making that bad decision. You know,
y'all brought up that point too. Yeah, that was a really good point when y'all was talking about like the same way Will was kind of like maybe in his machismo, whatever was in his head, he felt the intentionality might have been like he felt like in some way he was defending her.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all brought up the point in that same moment, it could have been reciprocated and be like, I know you're doing this for me, but that's gonna mess up the home.
Yep.
Let's think about us and our brand and everything. So that was a really good point that y'all brought up.
Yeah.
Great discussion, by the way.
Yeah. No, I thought it was probably one of the more poignant discussions. I mean, I did appreciate having a female point of view. I know we got a lot of flack for being an all male panel talking about what, you know, should be happening.
What a woman need to do.
Yeah. So, but you know, it was good, and I do appreciate her providing feedback or just kind of insight from a different perspective, maybe a little bit more credible or valid perspective as well. So I do have to ask this question because I mean, I heard through the grapevine that you have to now, you know, hold yourself up to the standards of being a man, and now you have to, you gotta smack Dave Chappelle or Kevin. Start with Kevin Hart. Can you start with Kevin Hart? You gotta start back on Kevin Hart if you see.
He work out.
what that you work out too? You don't work out?
He work out, and he got a little like. Sometimes I feel like the short dudes might have a complex. Like Floyd Mayweather really learned how to fight. I think it has something to do with his height. But I don't know. I might have to go with somebody a little bit more out of shape.
Oh, someone out of shape. Okay. We'll come back. Lil Rel. What about Lil Rel?
He might be.
You gonna step a dude from Chicago? Okay, all right, man, go for it, man. Look, I wish more power to you because that's
hey, man, we got a really. I would say at the Will and Jada side, we got a very, really good bar from 21 Savage. I don't know if you heard that one.
No, I didn't. I didn't hear the mumble from 21. So
wow, stop hating.
I'm not hating. I know he has a tendency to mumble, and then I found out he was British, so he probably was mumbling because he didn't have the accent. He didn't want to hear the accent, the English accent, so he was just like,
you don't mumble, man. He a great rapper. We gonna move on though.
All right, man. So that's cool. That's cool. Not necessarily. I like 21 Savage, man. He's a very creative, colorful character.
There we go again with these offhand compliment. Nothing to do with his raps, but you know he's a good guy.
Look, man.
Spend time with his kids.
Look, man. He does a service to the community. It's very positive, and he's, you know, let people know through demonstration that he, you know, it's not about the buying the frivolous things, kind of being smart with your money. I like that. I like that about 21 Savage, man. You know, so more power to him. So yeah, no, that's cool. Will and Jada, man. So whose side were you on? I forgot.
Who or what?
You was on Will's side?
Will's side, Jada's side, Chris Rock's side. There's so many sides to the story.
Okay.
I'm on the side. I went to elementary school, and you know, in my alma mater, I'm on the side of keep your hands and feet to yourself. It's the side I'm on, but you know, different strokes with different folks.
All right, man. I hope you get the invite to the Red Table Talk, man. I want to hear your side of the story.
Season for healing.
Okay. That's the name of the episode. I got you. Alright. So man, let's move on, man. The state of the Lakers, man. This is where we talked about the Lakers, man. I mean, they went from being, what was it, number 4 in the league, and they just kept sliding, and AD kept getting injured, and they fell straight out the playoff. I mean, they fell straight out the play-in. They didn't even make it to the play-in. So yeah, we were talking about, man, what needs to happen and all that stuff, and yeah, we still talking about it to this day.
We will be talking about it until they get it right. So,
yeah.
and they haven't made too many moves in the off season, so we might be talking to this well until next season.
Yeah. So yeah, man, what you had to say about the LeBron ARP company, man?
Like you, oh man, don't do that. I mean, like you said, we talked about them a lot all season. A lot of the points that y'all sat there and brainstormed, because I feel like everybody unanimously said it was a disappointing season, but y'all sat there and brainstormed and gave them benefit of the doubt and said they did have issues with consistency, like people who are not injured or dealing with injuries being on the floor at the same time, getting that that chemistry together, and it didn't really happen, and that a lot of those things could have contributed to their lack of success, even when everybody was healthy, which they weren't for a lot of it. So
yeah,
and they lost a lot of depth, so that makes sense.
So do you think that they should run it back? I mean, they
what do you mean? Like, should they run it back? Like, should the Lakers just pack up as a franchise and just dissolve? What do you mean?
No, man, run it back. Like, hey, man, this year we had a lot of injuries. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they don't have. I'll answer your question like this. I feel like they have no choice but to run it back, unless he's just gonna dissolve the Lakers. Or I don't know if you saw what's this the show they're doing with the Lakers, Showtime or whatever.
Oh, Winning Time.
You saw that?
I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm in the middle of watching it,
man, you gotta watch this thing, man. When the dude who got kicked off the team,
Norman,
called up his homeboy and said, "I want to kill somebody." He said, "Oh, he want to kill." This man said the Lakers. He didn't say not 1 or 2 people. He didn't say the coach. He didn't say the roster. He said the whole organization. This is back in the 70s when they had assault rifles. So unless that's what we done with the Lakers, they have no choice but to work with what they got and try it again. I know they're still saying, behind the scenes, this might happen, that might happen, but the more time that goes on, it just seems like they're just gonna have to work with what they got.
Oh, okay.
That being said, y'all did get into a debate that episode, and I'll say this. Obviously, LeBron James is not the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, we can say that outright. We don't stop with the misinformation. I know we be having jokes. He's not the GM. But I will say this. Y'all not going to tell me a player of the caliber of LeBron and what he's been able to do in this league for all these years and what he continues to do walks into the office and tells the GM, hey, this is what I need to win, that they're really not going to take that into account. Like, he may not be the one with the title, but I'm sure they take what he says very serious.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think that's very valid. I also think that also applies to a lot of franchise players. Dame Lillard, Paul George, and Kawhi. Kawhi.
They're not that guy. So he just has to. I just feel like if you believe that the say in the organization is somehow tied to a result on the court, none of those guys that you mentioned had the same results that LeBron James. So if you value it that way, you can't. I can't see anybody else having more weight than LeBron.
So I would say this: maybe if we're splitting hairs and marginality and all that stuff, if sure, but we've seen Kevin Durant go to a team, also say, hey, get my buddy, and get DeAndre Jordan a huge contract. Oh, by the way, I like this one time this guy helped me with shooting. He has never had a head coaching experience in his career, in his life. Hire him as your head coach. Like, I've never seen, like, we've seen, if not as egregious, more egregious from other players. Kevin Durant, like I said, Kawhi said, I'm not going to the Clippers unless you guys get me Paul George. They forced Paul George to get traded with OKC. Like,
I get.
So I mean,
I'm just saying. those are one-time situations. I'm just saying LeBron, we've been saying this about LeBron, him quote unquote being a shadow GM for a minute. And I just feel like that's tied to the results. I'm not saying other people aren't doing it. I'm just saying I don't think other people have the weight that LeBron, at least up until this now. Maybe with this last bust of a roster, maybe people are like, oh, hold up now. And that might be why some of these players ended up where they were. Maybe that's why KD ended up in Brooklyn instead of the Knicks. Maybe these other guys were like, he ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe that could have been it. So, again, I'll just say, I feel like LeBron has more weight than those other guys. And when it comes to decisions, over time.
Okay. All right.
It can't even be argued. Over time, it can't be argued. If you want to say last season, you could say, okay, Kawhi did that one season and KD did this season. But if you look at roster changes from team to team, whether it was going into Miami, I felt like that was kind of like everybody putting it together.
Yeah.
Cleveland was more like I felt like it was more architected by LeBron.
Sure. That's fair. And I mean, again, LeBron's been a free agent more than any other superstar also, so he just has more opportunities. So I do get your point on that. I do think that's kind of true. And so I mean, I think he gets a lot of a bad rap because of the fact that that's the narrative around him. But we just saw Jalen Brunson father get hired before he even got to the Knicks. I don't know what the Knicks are doing, but apparently in New York you can do whatever you want because they are so desperate. So,
so my daddy can get a job and a watch. And I want free hot dogs.
I know.
You don't gotta pay any hot dog cart in the city.
Want that free Subway pass all day, year round. So man, we'll keep an eye on the Lakers, man. So next topic, man, that you want to catch up on, the play-ins and the play-outs, and the people who were in and who got out, and probably the celebration in Minnesota. They brought a play-in to the city.
Yeah.
They brought a play-outs to the city, like, I guess. So yeah, man, what's your thoughts on this, on what happened with the play-ins and the play-ins, playoffs?
I won't say too much because it was a prediction episode. I just want to say y'all were pretty spot on with your predictions, though, so good job there. But I would say one thing with the when it comes to Pat Bev, like, we talk about whether we like him as a player or not, and his antics and his dirtiness, but his edge, all that kind of stuff. I'll say one thing I did appreciate him this season in that edge was, like, it mattered to be in the playoffs. Like, people were clowning him, like, celebrating going to the playoffs and all that, especially I think before the playoffs, him and Westbrook had that exchange, and he was like, oh yeah, well, I've been to the playoffs every year, yada yada yada. But, like, his expression about clinching that win showed how much the playoffs meant to him and how much it should mean to everybody, just to be there, be in the conversation, and then try to win. He took that, and I really like what he was doing on the court. That's not his, like, he's not really that good, but he was playing above his play level, just trying to be aggressive and get them up early.
Yeah.
So I did like what he was doing there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was fun. Play-ons, I like the play-ons. I don't know how do we feel about the play-ons now that they're here. There was a lot of questions before how they were gonna do it. I didn't like it. But what do you think now?
Yeah, I still like it. I know a lot of people who don't like it, because they think it awards mediocrity, and I'm like, every year we see 2 to 3 teams who are above 500, who, they can't make it to the playoffs solely because of the conference that they're in. Like, it has nothing to do with any of the other stuff. So I always kind of at that with that argument, which is there are teams who are above 500 who don't have a chance because they are located in a region that they have no control over. Like, Western Conference and Eastern Conference, it doesn't really matter, because on the other side you have people like 7th or 8th who are 500 or worse. So it's not the top 16 teams, it's the top 16 teams according to region and blah blah blah, this and that, which is, again, you end up missing out on some good players or good teams who are actually really good. It just wasn't good enough. to get over the hump in their respective conferences. But I still like the play-ins, man. It gives me something to do. We can make predictions. You know, we would have never saw that T-Wolves celebration on a regular season game. So, like,
I feel like Vegas appreciates it too.
I mean, of course, obviously, everyone likes it. Only people who don't like it are people who are still like conservative about the old format and this and that. But hey, man, I'll take it.
So, I would say one thing that I would imagine it would help with, but that didn't play out this year when you look at the Brooklyn Nets. But it would prevent, like, let's say there's like an 8th seed or a 7th seed team that slid into 7th or 8th because there was like a major injury or something. So they're still in there just because they did well in the season, but they have no shot at winning the playoffs because, let's say, LeBron is out or something like that.
Yeah.
That would give an opportunity to, like, if that team is not good enough to beat the 9th or the 10th, let that 9th and 10th be the seed, and you'll have a much more interesting series.
Yeah.
Again, that didn't happen because, you know, look at the team that made it with the Nets. They just got swept, unfortunately. But
but yeah, let's say KD was out indefinitely, and James Harden was out indefinitely, and Kyrie was on his Ramadan thing, so he was out because it was a home game. And you know, would you want to see a beat up
team?
No. A beat up team, like that, play against number 2? Like, you're not going to be that excited. But if, like, for example, Cleveland, which is a becoming team,
exactly,
you know, was it? Like I said,
they would have gave Boston. I think even with KD and all that we were talking about, they probably would have gave a better run for the money than the Nets ended up doing. That would have been a much more excited series.
Probably, they probably would have got one.
So at least, or they would have made him work for it.
So no, man. Speaking of that, man, James Harden, man, he had a rough couple of seasons, most because of his own doing, being out of shape and, you know, demanding, forcing his way out of multiple organizations to end up at now the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Is it time for James Harden to pack it up? Like, or not pack it up, but redefine his role. That's probably the best way to say it. Like, what you think?
I feel like that's when you go out with your friends for brunch and wait too long. So y'all go to the other restaurant to wait too long, and then y'all end up going to the restaurant where there's no line and the food trash.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what ended up. I feel like that's what happened with James Harden here. Pressure was obviously on. Unfortunate, Joel Embiid got an injury like right going into this thing. Because he had the face orbital fracture, he had the tear in the hand ligament. They just had him out there like Frankenstein, and he was still carrying the load and doing what the team needed to do. So that made it even more disappointing, where, you know, he just didn't show up in any capacity that people expected him to. It wasn't the Houston one, wasn't even the Brooklyn Nets one, like y'all said. So that was disappointing.
I think this is just the James Harden curse. I think because he forced his way out of OKC because they didn't give him an extra $8 million or whatever. Now he's finding himself in situations where he has to do so much. So even when he goes to a place that looks like he goes to a house, he buys a house, it looks nice on the outside, it looks good, like got some good bones, and then he gets inside, realize the floor is leaking. Like the floor has been, it's just been sitting on water for 3 years, and you know, the year that you get there is when it decides it wants to
just get
capsize. That's just been the story of James Harden, and I think, you know, he needs to redefine what his career is going to look like, or his role is going to look like.
That's a great point. And, you know, you brought up earlier about the $8 million that he didn't get that made him, you know, pack up. And I don't know if we talked about this too much. One thing that we don't talk about is that in this offseason, reportedly, you know, he's out there getting in shape. He re-signed to the team for less money. People are kind of trying to figure out what's going on with that contract, but they're saying it's less money. He's working out. He's taking off-season serious. Maybe, you know, in the pro, and we talk about this all the time, it's the pro player era. He could have just been like, I got my check.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, I'm gonna help the team try and keep what they got by taking less money. I'm gonna get in shape, and I'm going to take this criticism. Or even if he blocks out the criticism, but maybe he internally knows like I could have done better, and he's doing what he needs to do. At least that's what the optics look like right now. So
Yeah.
give him his props for that. Let's just see if he can pull that off.
Yeah, I'll give him his props when I can see the results and it actually pays off. Otherwise, it's same old Harden.
Y'all also talked about that same episode. Y'all was going into like James Harden versus Ray Allen, and who would y'all rather have on your squad? Man, I'm taking James Harden all day.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Especially if you're talking about like Celtics era Ray Allen.
Well, we talk about Ray Allen, peak Ray Allen.
Yeah, I felt like y'all was talking about more Celtics era. That's what y'all was talking about. Big three Ray Allen. Y'all wasn't talking about Milwaukee Bucks Ray Allen or Sonics Ray Allen.
I would take Boston Ray Allen over prime James Harden. You know why? Because it translates in the playoffs.
Nah.
All right.
He didn't carry that team.
He didn't have to carry.
He was like the third, fourth option.
Okay, and guess what? When James Harden was the third option in OKC, it was still Ray Allen was still more productive as the third option. But when Ray Allen was like first option in Milwaukee, he was killing. Like he was driving, he was shooting, he was playmaking, he was dunking on folks. Yo, I would take UConn Ray Allen right out of UConn. over whatever school that James Harden came out of. I don't even matter.
Okay.
So hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Look, I know we in a, the history is very short. Like it's like big three, Boston, maybe a little bit of Pistons, but nah, Ray Allen was killing. I like Ray Allen. So
I like him too. He ain't no slouch. I'm just saying, like he didn't really carry a team that deep, in my opinion. Did he get to as far in the finals carrying the team as Harden did?
He made it to the he didn't make it to the finals. The Bucks, he never got the Bucks to the finals, but
he never Harden never made it to the finals either, right?
Yeah, so I think the farthest he got was maybe like this second round with Milwaukee. Milwaukee team wasn't that great. I mean, they were good. Like they had a couple of pieces like Sam Cassell or Rashard Lewis, but they would.
Harden went to the conference finals. He did have Chris Paul, but Chris Paul went down and they still almost won. They just missed 1,000 threes.
Yeah, but Ray Allen never really had a very good number two, like partner in crime. Like I said, I mentioned Sam Cassell, but that was old Sam. Like
I hear you, Sam Cassell is not no PG, so I understand.
I mean that he wasn't even Sam Cassell of the Houston Rockets when he won the championship. He was
exactly.
He was. I'm a veteran teacher at this point, leader/teacher. I mean, he had Big Dog Robinson. Again, that's not he's not going to be in the top 75. Chris Paul is top 75, like easy. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'm just biased to the new school.
That's I guess, yeah. So, but yeah, man, Ray Allen, man, I don't know how far he made it. Let me see how far he made it in the. Let me see. I don't think. He helped the Bucks to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, so they kind of plateaued in the same place thus far.
And he plateaued with Sam Cassell and Glenn Robinson.
Okay.
So
I hear you. I hear the argument.
But yeah, he was in a dunk contest. So, but look, dude, this dude, he does more than shooting threes in the corner, man. It's just what he ended up doing his role as because he had.
And he was nice in the dunk contest. He wasn't just like a honorary participant. He was in there.
Yeah, he finished fourth. But there was two people who below him. So, but yeah, no.
But even still, like he finished fourth. But like, if I remember that one, it was in no slouches he was going up against. It was like I want to say it wasn't Kobe. No, not Kobe. Who was it? It was an older one.
Yeah.
It was like it was some dunkers in there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's back when the dunk contest actually used to be good. Like,
wow, when it used to be good. What about 4 years ago with Zach LaVine and 6 years ago?
when we had hoverboards and sunglasses on and Timberlands. Like, come on,
man. I guess you may be right. This is '97 dunk contest. Who won that? Kobe.
Yeah, I thought it was Kobe. Like, it was like dunker. Like, when I saw the lineup, I remember being shocked, but it just felt. I think it might have been Kobe's like first or second year.
It was his second year. He wasn't a rookie. It was his second year, but it was his first dunk contest. Yeah. So he was.
Something was like that. Don't sound right that Ray Allen and Kobe were in the same dunk contest, but I guess because Kobe was still young and Ray Allen was still in his prime.
Yeah.
And that was like that. Just you talking about just those two. There was some other guys that I remember the big dunkers of their time. I don't remember who it was, but I remember when I actually saw this video. I actually saw the contest like on NBA TV or something like that. I was like, damn, that was a crazy lineup.
Yeah, let me see, man. We here now, so we're gonna go down the rabbit hole and see who this was. I don't remember everyone that was in there, but I do remember it being a good one. But all of them were good, so that's the thing. Like, in the 90s, I think it was like the golden era of dunk contest, except for that one time. What was that guy's name? It wasn't Derek Collison. What was his name?
Air Shop.
There was a guy who he played for the Orlando Magic, and he went in the dunk contest, and he was just doing layups. I was like, bro, why you being an idiot right now? But yeah, let me see here. They say it's the worst. Man, they always say it's the worst. Alright, so this had Darvin Ham. Hey, Laker coach. Chris Carr, Bob Sura, Michael Finley, who was a good dunker, Ray Allen, and Kobe Bryant. So, I get it. He probably was the best dunker out of them, but Ray Allen was there, Michael Finley was there. I don't know. Darvin Ham and Chris Carr. I don't think that was gonna be.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't as many, but like still, that ain't no soft competition then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, Ray Allen, man. I pick him over James Harden 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10. So yeah, man. Anything else you want to add on that, or you good, man?
Nah, I think we good on the James Harden. Do better next season.
James Harden. You don't buy the James Harden jersey?
Nah.
Oh, okay. You don't get access to it and then you gonna wear it?
Nah, I'm gonna get a Jimmy jersey first. Jimmy
Fredette?
Hero.
Jimmy Fredette?
Jimmy Buckets.
Oh, the Philadelphia version? Or the Timberwolves version?
Nah.
Or the Chicago version?
Come on, you feel this heat down in your soul. Stop it, Chris.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine, man. You can go ahead and do that, man. He gonna be going like 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, be going right to Utah because the Jazz are broken up, man. We talked about this, man. We said, are the Jazz ever going to do a repeat? Are they gonna ever run it back after this? And
I said, was it the last dance? And I never gonna dance again. Is what I said.
I said it was the last dance. I knew this. Like after this year, if they didn't make it out the first round or they didn't make it significant place, they
don't like each other, man.
But yeah, man. So
lack of success and turmoil in the locker room between your 2 biggest stars.
With 2 biggest stars, Mike Conley is playing mediocre. He's playing under his contract right now. And I mean, there's nothing to root for. I mean, they already traded away they heart and soul once he got his Achilles torn, or was it his? I think it was his Achilles or ACL. So yeah, like
Ingles,
yeah, Joe Ingles. Yeah, they traded him away. Like that was your grit and grind right there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Rudy Gobert ain't gonna do nothing. He's just gonna rough up some mics. That's about it. So
the former defensive player of the year. You tricking us?
Yeah.
Hey,
y'all? Hey,
he a cone? Hey, is he a cone? No, that's the question.
Hey, I don't know what Pat Bear's gonna say because I wait for the tweet from the new Utah Jazz member. However, we saw what Anthony Edwards said, so I'm gonna just keep that as a standing.
I do remember
testimony.
the comments there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really think. I don't take that. I remember y'all having this conversation. Basically, I said Anthony Edwards was like, oh, basically, I don't know why people laud him as a defensive anchor. When I go to the paint, he doesn't put fear in my heart. Like, I feel like I can do what I need to do in the paint.
Yeah, he said he's more. You said Porzingis is more of a threat.
Come on, man.
That's what he said.
Come on, that's what he said. But let me ask you, Porzingis
can block
Rudy
shots.
Gobert?
Porzingis can block shots.
I'm not asking you whether Porzingis could block shots. You need a defender to hold down the anchor. You picking up Porzingis or you picking up Rudy Gobert?
If all I need you to do for 48 minutes is sit in the paint and block shots, sure, Rudy Gobert. But
hold on. Even if you didn't need that, are you giving us the hot take today? You gonna say Rudy Gobert? I mean, Porzingis over? We're not talking about peak Porzingis. We talking about Porzingis how he's been as of the last few seasons. You'll take that over Rudy Gobert?
Healthy Porzingis, I would take over healthy Rudy Gobert 80% of the time. The other 20% is because he injured. But when Porzingis plays, he plays way better. He's more productive on both sides of the floor than Rudy Gobert is. So
we just haven't seen it for a little bit. I don't know how he did last season. I didn't watch the Wizards, to be honest.
Yeah. Once he got traded, I think he did all right. But again, it was the Wizards, so no one really was paying attention to them like that. So
yeah.
But yeah,
Bradley Beal, what is he doing? Get out of there.
Nah, man, he just resigned. He want that money. He loves DC. He's loyal. So I appreciate that. So Jazz, so they're never gonna dance again, and they shopping Spider Mitch. Where do you think he's gonna go?
I'm surprised. I mean, I guess they're going for a complete rebuild at this point.
Yeah, they should go ahead and trade away Mike Conley too. Trade him back to the Grizzlies. He can come off the bench. Be a great backup to Ja. I appreciate that too.
Where could D-Mitch go?
Miami.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, but we already got a shooting guard.
So this is the thing. I don't know if you heard the news.
Trade him for Kyle Lowry. Y'all want Kyle Lowry in Utah?
I mean, he ain't had to worry about rate restrictions.
Yeah. Riley's out of control.
You don't have to worry about
the boy eat, bro.
Nah, that's why he injured. So you get too
fat,
fat, boy.
People, bro. Bring you back to like middle school, like people would just be sitting there eating a meal in peace. Hey man, you fat. Like let people live. Like people can't enjoy their snacks, their food. You let people live. This man said you need to get in shape. Everything that went wrong, all these injured people who were better in shape were more injury prone than him that season. I don't feel like he was injured that much. And he just want to highlight at everything. Can't sick of y'all losing. And Kyle, you need to lose weight. He just the first thing that came to mind. Like that's out of control. Man, a sidetrack me bringing that story up.
Hey, two things. One, I think that this has been the Miami culture for decades because Jermaine O'Neal, I don't know if you remember him. He was a former Indiana Pacer great, got moved down to Miami. He was under Pat Riley's tutelage or tenure or authoritative thumb, and he said something very similar. He said, man, I didn't want to resign because I got tired of going to my pantry. I'm paraphrasing. Got tired of going to my pantry, looking at Oreos, knowing I can't eat them. So that's why he just said, I should really just work for another company or organization. So maybe that's Kyle Lowry.
That's crazy. I feel like Miami already got that kind of connotation, just like, South Beach, everybody want to be in shape, but specifically in that organization, you're bringing up a good point, and I think, where did he go after the Heat? Did he end up going to the Celtics?
I forget where Jermaine O'Neal went after that. You know, after the Pacers.
I think he did a stint at the Celtics, and it's funny because I feel like the same thing happened with Shaq. When Shaq started, you know, kind of being like more towards the retirement age and just putting on weight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember he went to the Celtics and just had a lackluster season.
Wow, and you're right. He did go to the Celtics for 2 years.
so maybe that's the thing. Like they come to the Heat, they get tired of the pressure. They're like, "Hey man, I can make it happen in Boston," and then they just like, "Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I gotta eat."
Yeah,
and they just get out of shape. That's hilarious.
So maybe that's the pitch. Like, hey yo, we got this clam chowder. It's really good. You can have as much as you want. Clam chowder sound kind of good right now. Could it be over there in Miami starving? I see.
Yeah.
So is that a future casting for Kyle Lowry? Is he going to the Celtics?
I don't know, man. He might lose weight. But there could be the other option, or maybe he just you know, tells Pat Riley to go F off or something like that and just does it. So
yeah,
if he produces on the court, I don't think we're gonna hear that weight question again. I mean, and what the sad part is, I feel like he did produce on the court. Mm-hmm. If they won the championship or something, obviously he ain't gonna say that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the barometer because they went all the way to the damn.
They were one shot away. Yeah, one shot away.
So if he makes that, if Jimmy Butler makes that one shot, Kyle Lowry don't gotta lose weight.
No, but guess what? You lost. Now you gotta lose weight. You knew you was fat when you came in here.
As soon as he missed the shot, he just looked at Kyle. And just said, like what? Yeah. What? Hey, between Zion's foot and y'all and Kyle Lowry, y'all done lost y'all mind when it comes to this weight stuff, man. If y'all don't let people be.
Hey, that's your boy, man. Kurt, man. That's your boy. He out here weight shaming, saying that's the reason his foot got fractured because he's fat. So
people got punctured lungs. People got all kind of other stuff going on. Ain't no issue.
AD got
1 pound, one pound over. Need to lose weight. It's like y'all need to stop it.
AD got rolled ankles, got broken feet, got bad knees, bad back, shoulder gone. Nah, man, he just fragile. But Zion.
Hey, NBA players, to be honest, NBA players really can't win with y'all because Giannis will come into the league, or Steph will be in the league. Oh, Steph, you need to put on weight.
Yep. Hey, Chet Holmgren looks like that right now. That boy look tall, and lanky. I was like, ooh.
Brandon Ingram, Kevin Durant, they just reapers.
Yep. So yeah, man, the Jazz, they're gone. They're no longer relevant. And Spider Mitch
won't be for a minute.
Apparently, man, they're mentioning that Spider may be trying to. They may be talks of him going to the Knicks in a trade. So unload Julius Randle, maybe do something like that. Have a Jalen Brunson, Spider Mitch backcourt. I don't know what that's gonna look like. But yeah,
me neither. They will be very guard heavy. Like the production coming from what's his name in New York, Julius Randle, hasn't been that great.
Yep.
But they have all the young players. RJ Barrett, Quickly. I feel like all of them are guards already. And you just got Jalen Brunson. And you gonna get another guard in D Mitch? Yeah.
And you still got Derrick Rose.
And I even mentioned D Rose. That's a lot of guards.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the Knicks are doing, but maybe like I said, they could trade Derrick Rose. I mean, Utah don't need a guard either, but they can trade. They can try to do some trades and get Julius Randle off their books. I don't know what they're gonna get back because Utah ain't got no forward. They got Royce O'Neal. I don't know, man. So yeah, we'll see, man. We're moving right back to the Nets, man. Look, 4-0. What's your take? What you want to say? You have anything to say?
That's all I gotta say. Like, and what else is there to say? It sucks. I wish they would have not went 4-0. I wish they could have got it together. I wish band could have stayed together, but like, shit happens. We know what happened. We know how they got there. Mm-hmm. So we put all those excuses in a box and ship them to the side. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
What a disappointing ending. Disappointing for the Nets, disappointing for the fans, disappointing probably for even the Celtics, to be honest.
Yeah. Ain't no look, it's look, the Knicks are the Knicks, and I think the Nets is gonna be the Nets. So whatever is going on in New York, that's just par for the course. I'm not even surprised. Actually, I am surprised. That's the reason why it's so fascinating that they got swept. They didn't win.
It's crazy. Like y'all couldn't steal one game with KD and Kyrie. Not one.
No.
Damn.
Cause
and like when you write in the history books and you're like, oh, the Celtics had a great season. They went through this team, that team, but people are gonna just look at that one disparate. Like they still had a great run and a great season, but it would have looked so much better if it was just like, oh, they beat a team that didn't destroy themselves. Like
yeah. So no, it is very interesting, and like I said, it's just another failed attempt of big three-isms trying to recreate the the Heat dynasty, or I don't want to call it dynasty, but the Heat tenure being very dominant, and it's just really hard to recreate that. Obviously, you just can't do it just by simply putting people together. And on top of that, man, we can just talk about this real quick. I know you got something to say about Ben Simmons, the Australian sensation. So yeah, man. Look, Ben ain't played a game and got paid. Ben ain't played a game and he demanded a trade. Ben told you he had a back issue, then it was a mental issue, and then he got back surgery for his mental issue. And then, fast forward a little bit, right before, like 2 hours before the Kevin Durant trade announcement, he out here like, on Instagram talking about he ready, or whatever nonsense he said, just doing Ben stuff. Is he the greatest finesser of all time? Is that what you wanna?
He dripping in finesse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that was crazy. Like y'all were doing a great in system. I think that episode though, and I said that I gave him. I know some of y'all was just like, how y'all even giving them a grade? I think Kev was trying to give him like a C- or something like that. Y'all was just like 0%. How you get a grade? Y'all want to give him an incomplete, like he withdrew. He just gave him on the team.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know. I feel as though he got a D, cause I think he tried. I think he tried at the end to come. Maybe he didn't try as much as we wanted him to, but he tried. And they say he's working out now. I think they even say he's shooting now. So like, we'll see.
Okay.
I am a D. If he didn't get injured, if the reason he didn't show up is because he was just like still on his whatever, maybe out of the 0 or the F or whatever the case is. But I feel like he was trying to get game ready, and I think that it was. I know it seems crazy, just like I give benefit of the doubt to Kyrie too. So maybe I'm a benefit of the doubt guy. It seemed like he was really trying to come back, and he had a setback. Just like Zion, everybody was putting all this oohs and extras. He checked out. He don't care. He past teammate. Yada yada yada. He went and signed. Seems like he's gotten in shape in the off season. So I think it's more the same with that. Like sometimes the optics look bad, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember what I gave this grade.
I believe it was an F, like a 0, like that.
Cause even if I gave it a 0, I mean an incomplete. Like this incomplete's gonna be converted to something. And so far, like I ain't seen nothing to make me change my mind from an F. Like no, dude, you demanded a trade. You got the demand that you wanted. You still not mentally there. Okay, fine. Then you had a back issue, but you was dunking, like doing pre-game.
I saw that
pre-game dunking. And then,
again, like I'm with you. I'm so with you on that. But I do realize you can like especially if you're Ben Simmons, like if I was Ben Simmons, I had his athletic ability and his leaping ability and all that. You can dunk when your back hurt or have a back injury. You can do one dunk.
Sure.
Doesn't necessarily mean you can play 48 games.
Sure. And then see, that's about the opposite.
And then the text, like this, you know what? If you wanted to take my D and bring it to a D- or an F+, you making a strong case because you had whatever was going on, your setback, but then you said like, "What do y'all think if I play next game?" Like you doing all this.
He said,
"Hey, look at this windmill dunk, y'all!" Like he doing all of this.
Coming soon. Like
he started doing the LeBron powder. Hold on, let me fix this right quick. He started doing the LeBron powder before the game. He's suiting up. He's taking off the warm-up jersey just to change into plain clothes and sit down. Like, what is going on, bruh?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm so confused. No one knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
He even mentioned, "I'ma play in the playoffs," and then he saw they were down 3-0. He was like, "I'm out sick. I ain't got the guys. I can't take it. Mental health, mental block, whatever it is, you got put whatever it is out there."
Maybe he meant he was going to play in the playoffs next season. Y'all ain't asking which playoffs. That's on y'all.
Okay.
I know better.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Finesse.
All right. But yeah, he finessed everyone, and he still try to get the money from Philadelphia that they find him. Like, bro, stop it. Stop it. So.
Hey man, y'all said y'all was gonna pay me if I played. You ain't played, Ben.
I played at the gym, man. You didn't say I had to play in the game.
I played with y'all pockets.
Yeah, I playing people's emotions. So, yeah, man, Ben is trash. Well, Ben this year was trash. I don't know if
Ben is the embodiment of "I'll be there in 5 minutes."
Yeah. Well, I'll pay you back. He does that. LeBron and KD, man. What you want to talk about with this, man? It's LeBron. It's LeBron.
You know, when I first saw y'all did this topic, I was like, KD.
The answer is LeBron.
He's heralded as the best basketball player in the world. Came back from the Achilles, still killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Just great all-around player.
Great offensive player. Great offensive player. All around is a little much.
He has the size and the natural ability to be able to defense. Maybe he's not as locked in on defense as you would like him to be as some of the greats. So I will. He's not a cone, but maybe he's not as good as a defensive player as he probably could be if he maybe just took a season to hone in on that, you know, and just change the mentality about defense.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just think about all the great plays, not just the natural ability, the athletics, and everything else that comes with LeBron, on and off the court, in the community, on the TV screen. You got the shot uninterrupted. All that stuff is all good, but just the moments, the big blocks when it's needed, or no, whether it's a no call, you thought it should have been a foul, whatever it is. The Steph Curry, I see 3 baskets. I can't see, somebody poke me in the eye, but I still made it.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, we've seen so many moments where he's just taken over a game and took it to the next level. May not have been the winning shot, but you know, LeBron made a string of plays. He got high, you know, whether it's a triple-double, 50 points this game, whatever the case is, like, so many times the man did what needed to be done.
Mm-hmm. And
where all these guys have not, that we can sit and say, oh, technically the best duo, but we talking about the have and the have not. As much as LeBron has done, I had to change my mind around it, and it was just like, you gotta go with LeBron.
Yeah, no argument from me. I had this conversation all the time. KD is the best scorer on the floor.
Great scorer.
But guess what? LeBron is going to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar next season. He only has to average 16 points a game. That's how close he is. I ain't saying KD can't do it as well. I'm saying LeBron is going to do it. Like, this is going to be another notch in his belt. So it's not that he can't even score. Scoring ain't even his best attribute. But even in that, he's still so good at scoring.
He chased down blocks. Whatever you want to call it.
The lockdown D. He locked down Derrick Rose that year in the playoffs. Like, every fourth quarter, he's like, I got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose went from, MVP to Detroit Pistons Derrick Rose. Like, that's just what he does. Like, chase down blocks. Like, they started even recording the stat because he was making it such a eventful event. Like, so I ain't talking about stuff off the court. Off the court stuff is off the court stuff, but like,
and you gotta look at the shadows too. Just like, oh man, JR and Iman Shumpert.
Yeah,
who are already on the Knicks.
Yep,
took them, made them champions.
Yep. Kevin
left
Love.
The team. They no longer. Well, Kevin Love's still there, and I would argue like his that team wasn't great for him. Stat wise.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you'll take people and make them a champion. When you leave, like Richard Jefferson, I'm gonna go announce on TV because like these guys couldn't do it without him.
Yeah.
They'll take these guys and make them champion. You'll be like, oh, he's a championship caliber player. You put him on another team.
Can't get past the first round. Kyrie.
So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he took some lemons and made lemonade. I don't know if it's something about him where it's just like after that you done took all the juice out of you, but he took some people who have not been able to do what they did with him without him. So
I'm with you. I don't have much to add to that, man. I don't know why people say KD, but I get it. Like, people say KD, and so you kind of believe it.
I was right there. I think it's the sensationalism sometimes gets you. Like, KD has had a very good return and has been a very good player.
Yeah.
And LeBron has suffered some setbacks as of late since their championship run with the Lakers. So, and even before that, it was had a struggle year with the young guys. So.
Yeah. So okay, cool. All right, man. Who brought the code?
Man, I'm so tired.
Who brought the code, man? There's a lot of code breaking this playoffs.
We abusing the code at this point. Somebody got the game shark. They done use all the codes, area codes, all the codes,
zip codes.
Felt like that was all silly. I know we talked about this a couple of times. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod yet, but I just felt like that was on the cooler heads. Kerr, I don't having these moments. I feel like that team was a little bit more experienced and been there before that they can kind of deal with that. I felt like the Grizzlies coach kind of leaning into it probably doesn't help a whole bunch of young guys focus on basketball and what they need to do to win. Mm-hmm. It kind of puts them in a headspace where you're kind of stuck in that moment of, oh yeah, they did this to us and we're mad at them and we're gonna try and do all this extra stuff. I don't think anybody tried to hurt each other, to be honest. Yeah. I think the Dylan Brooks foul was regrettable. Mm-hmm. I think he would have been like, I take that one back.
Yeah.
The Draymond thing, I don't think he intended to pull him to the ground, but his hand was in his jersey. Happy. Doesn't have to be all intention.
Yep.
And then what was the other one? The Jordan Poole one, that was just silly to be honest. When I look at the play, and I think Ja probably needs to do a little bit of analysis on risk versus reward moving forward. Mm-hmm. He's too valuable. I don't see the benefit of the way that he went out to close out on Klay Thompson. It didn't seem safe for either of the players. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, maybe you would have got a blocker affected the shot. Mm-hmm. Versus what I think, in my opinion, I know some people say he went on to drop 20 points or whatever after that moment, but I felt that really impacted his knee. That's what it looked like to me. Because I think that was the same knee he had injured before previously, right?
I don't remember which knee it was, but yeah, he has had some knee injuries and some ankle injuries this year. So yeah.
So whether or not that was the play or not, I feel like moving forward, now that injuries have sidelined you this time in the playoffs, moving forward, you got to think about is this play when we're in a 7-game series going to be the play that's gonna really affect things? So should I put my body on the line? I'm not saying be scared. I understand you gotta go hard on every play. You got to treat every play like that.
Mhm.
But what were the chances you blocking that shot? Klay
Yeah.
Thompson's not good. Like, he's a pretty experienced shooter. He's not gonna be like, oh man, he flew across the screen and blocked me. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think moving forward, you gotta make smarter defensive decisions for that. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But nobody broke the code, and
Ain't no code.
that was so dumb. That was all of it was dumb. I was mad at both of them for that. I do like the rivalry though. I hope they keep that going for it. I like the banter and the back and forth. As long as there's no real malice, I think it shows, if anything, to get into a rivalry with such a young team just shows like, oh, we see y'all.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, nothing to add on that, man. I think it was crazy hoopla. I don't like that it even started because I mean Steve Kerr kind of started the whole situation. I'm just like, it's just kind of like you just. All right, dude. We know what y'all be doing. Jordan had a whole push off, in the '96. So
y'all also had a very good point. I don't think y'all talked about it this time, but you know when people do bring up like Draymond is a repeat offender. Like I don't like necessarily the repeat offender penalty, but I also don't like the repeat offender defense. Like, oh well, you already got one, so just let him have a tantrum. Like.
Yeah,
I think there got to be a balance. I don't know what that balance is, but
yeah, I hate it. I did. I was adamant about that. I do remember that. I was adamant about that. I probably still feel that way. Like you don't change the rules because a person already has 5 fouls. If he gets the 6th foul, he gets the 6th foul.
Yeah.
Like the 6th is just as good as the first, or just as bad as the first, right? So it's just as much of an infraction.
The onus should be on the player to be realizing like, hey, I got 4.
Yeah.
I got 5. I need to change what I'm doing on the defensive end. And if that's,
and we see it.
Yeah,
we see it. We see players like, oh, Chris Paul, he got 5 fouls, and someone's going to drive on him. And he just steps away. He doesn't. Oh, like I mean, I could have fouled out, or it's a foul, but it's not a foul. I mean, I don't want to sit down. Like, no, that's
don't even risk it.
Yeah. So.
Is this swipe at the ball you're gonna do likely gonna end in a clean steal or a foul out? And what is the impact that you're gonna have on the other side of the court?
Yeah, 3 minutes left in the game. That doesn't make any sense, right? So, I didn't like that as an argument. But I understand, man, that we got some Draymond stands out here and some sympathizers who just, he could do no wrong. But I don't like it. Just like we don't like James Harden hooking people and flailing as a foul. Some people say that's not the way basketball should be played. You also shouldn't be out here tackling people and just getting away with it because, well, that's just Draymond. That's just what he is. Like, no, we should cut all that stuff out. So, but yeah, no, the code thing was dumb. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Speaking of jokes, is the MVP pick a joke? The Joker, was he joking?
I would say this: when it comes to Jokic and the MVP, I thought he deserved it. I thought he did a great job. I think he carried the team. I think all those things. But I have appreciated the argument that if you're gonna get the MVP back to back, you have to be head and shoulders above the rest, or at least like show us something new, something different.
Yeah.
Like, I think in that regards, I could see them giving it to somebody else this
year. Yeah. No argument against that either. They gave it to Jokic. I think he did carry that broken team. However, I think they were 4th seed, and so I don't know. Like it could have been maybe someone else. Maybe who was
Embiid? I think was in the running.
Embiid was in the running, and they were like number 3 or number 2. No, they're number 3, right? Yeah, they're number 3. Yeah, I would give it to Embiid.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like it is what it is. Because Embiid I think was out a few games. I think that was the difference.
But that was the same argument last year.
Yeah,
they were close. They were neck and neck, but Embiid was injured, so that's why they didn't give it to him.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like. Who would I replace him? Who would I definitively replace him with? I don't know. So yeah, give it to him.
The next runner-up.
I Yes.
Because even both seasons, again, like I don't know, I don't remember this season as much, but I remember specifically last season. It was similar numbers, very similar.
Yeah.
Between you could have went either way, and if Embiid didn't get injured, he probably would have took it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
So I can see Embiid getting it.
Okay. Well, yeah, 1 year if he stays healthy enough, or they're significant enough. So we know who ain't getting an MVP though is Chris Paul, point guard, because he's always seems to be on the other side, the losing side of whatever matchup in the playoffs, and he just can't catch a break. You know. So is this it for Chris Paul? Like, is this like? Is it a wrap? Just
so they re-signed Aiden. That was a question mark.
Forcefully. They begrudgingly gave him
begrudgingly, or their hands were forced. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have did it if they didn't have to.
They were backed in the corner.
Yeah. So I think they happily did it. They were trying to go cheap them out. But I would say this. Well, if they don't do it with this team here, this core team, I thought Aiden was above it. If Aiden was gone, that would have been a wrap. If they can keep somewhat of the team they have another chance, but it's going to be even more harder. Everybody's a year older on that team, especially Chris Paul's a bit older. He's already injury prone in the playoffs. And this would have been the year to win the West. Lakers didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kawhi was out.
Again.
Paul George was out.
Again.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to see it 3 times in a row? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a tougher West in a lot of ways. It's going to be a little bit easier in a lot of ways, too. Well, not in a lot of these. In the sense that Jazz, which has been a perennial playoff team, won't be in it. But Nuggets are gonna get Jamal Murray back. Like this is only gonna be harder, bro.
Oh yeah.
Memphis is another year of experience in the playoffs. Everybody's gonna be healthy, hopefully. Is the Warriors? You can't count them out.
Yeah.
Are they better than all those teams?
No, but that's the thing. It just gets, like you said, it gets harder. So
yeah.
The wall gets just a little bit higher to jump over, and I don't see Devin Booker getting no better as far as like what he is. He's a scorer, like he's a bona fide scorer at a shooting guard position. I don't know if he's going to become a playmaker. I don't know if he's going to become a defender, or any of those ancillary things are going to be upgraded. But he'll get you 50 points. I don't know what DeAndre Ayton is going to do. He's been pretty plateaued since he got in the league. Like he's averaging like 19 points a game, probably like 10 to 12 rebounds. Like he'll get you that. I don't know how
that's a lot.
It is, but okay. There's a lot of other players who can get you 19 points and 10 to 12 rebounds, or they can get you like an uptick, 22 points, 24 points, or they have a bigger skill set. Between him and Jaren Jackson, like I would think Jaren Jackson is more of a versatile offensive player, and
he can shoot the 3.
Yeah, and he led the team in blocks. So now you have to start to weigh it. Like, okay, what is your next thing? Chris Paul is potential now. He has nothing else he can give.
Yeah.
So
he can't find another. If he does, man, just get put in the Hall of Fame while he's still playing.
Pretty much. So that's why I said, look, this is not really looking good for Chris Paul. I think the quest for a chip is pretty much like there's like a crack, like a maybe 5% chance he'll get it, but I don't think he's
okay. Let me pose you this question. I just thought of a scenario. Something comes up, team decide you know what, we okay with letting this happen, and there's a team with a good chance of winning, and there's a mid-season trade or something like that. What you think?
It depends on the team he goes to, or if it's Phoenix and they're receiving people. Okay, so for example, right, If he gets KD,
Phoenix, any team that would be going to that would be having a potential champ, it would have to be trying to give up all their picks. It had to be a team giving up their future.
not necessarily. Like I said, if you, let's say you get KD, you get KD for Ayton, and you may have to give up like Miles Bridges, so you kind of weaken your bench a little bit, but you also got KD. So like
On the Phoenix team?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
then Chris Paul, yeah, you know what? It went from 5%. Okay, you have a legitimate chance to do it if you guys can gel and if it's early enough for you guys to gel and like figure it out.
I don't know if their attitudes will mesh, but you definitely got dependency. You can depend on Chris Paul.
Yeah. So I just don't. That's the thing, man. I just don't know. Like it has to be some like unforeseen blockbuster trade that, or Chris Paul gets traded to the Lakers. I don't know how, why, or when, but
Yeah.
like let's say Rich Paul pull some strings. It's like, all right, man, get him over to the Lakers. You know, we'll give y'all AD. He broken, or you know, give you guys AR-15, and THT, just to make a run. I would think him and LeBron would. Now LeBron don't have to play ball handler, or they can split it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it'll take the load off each other or whatever. They still got Cabello. They still boys. You know, AD. You know, all his broken limbs. You know, you ain't gotta rely on his limbs all the time. Like there's these very specific cases, but I don't think it's gonna happen in this year's reality. So yeah, I'm not banking on Chris Paul to win a championship, and I think that's fine. Like if he doesn't have one.
Yeah, I don't think Charles Barkley. So many players, everybody can't win the chip.
Reggie
so
Miller,
many teams,
John Stockton,
so many rosters, everybody can't win the chip.
Karl Malone.
He has the. I don't know if everybody respect him. We see him.
He
has the accomplishments. He's deserved it. He's deserved it. Whether you like him, dislike him, he deserves.
Yeah.
All the success attributed to his name, whether he gets a championship or not. So
Yeah.
he'll be alright.
Yeah. So last but not least, man, the Warriors, they do got championships. They found a way to go from a bumbling, fumbling, turnover-prone team in the first round to tackling folks in the finals. And Steph Curry having breaking code. I mean, they I think each round had a theme. So, you know what I'm saying? Draymond found his outside linebacker powers in the Dallas game, and it continued over, or Dallas series, and it continued over to the Celtics. Steph Curry actually had to break out a game, like a defining game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that was cool. MVP, Finals MVP.
Andrew Wiggins finally did something.
Man.
You know, Kevon Looney learned his valuable. Like there's just a lot of stuff. But anyways, what you guys say about them? You know, maturing.
Everything you said was great. I like the win for Steph and what it means for his legacy to be the guy in that run for the championship win, indisputable, being the Finals MVP. I felt like this one meant more. I know everybody asked that question, which one meant more. I felt like this one meant more. They were kind of counted out. Plays kind of, still struggling getting back where he was. There was no KD. Nobody believed in them, and they pulled another one out. So I really enjoyed this one. Wiggins, great play by Wiggins. People stepped it up. Poole helped him in the regular season. Wasn't as great in the postseason, but he had his moments. Like everybody had their moments.
Yeah.
The game where Draymond got under all the Celtics skin and helped get that win. Like, it's been beautiful basketball.
Ooh.
I'll say this though, like you ain't give them their flowers. You need to start hating on the Warriors. You just talking about Wiggins and how you were saying basically you just feel like he doesn't play to his potential. He could do better. He's just but maybe he's just one of those people that plays basketball and they try not to force the game. They just let the game come to them and just kind of operate in those open spaces. Like, okay, they're giving it to me. I'm on the drive. Bomb. Let me finish. Let me get this dunk. Let me knock down this three when they need it. Maybe he's not trying to take over the game, and which is I feel like if you don't have that DNA, you don't have that gene, you can't be a number one or a number two even. Like Jimmy Butler can be super passive, but when he needs to turn it on and get a bucket, why we call him Jimmy Buckets? I feel like we don't see that in Wiggins. Wiggins doesn't have that gene of, I got to make a play now. Like, this is my time. I have to do something. I think if if there's an opportunity, he can exercise the moment. Like, he can use that moment and do what he needs to do. But he's not going to create an opportunity. He's not going to say, give me the ball, I'm going to make this play happen. And I think that's what you're saying you don't like about him. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a number one option thing. It's not, like you always say, is it worth the contract? Maybe not. Probably not worth the contract thing. But it is not necessarily a bad
Okay. As a rebuttal,
okay.
I do give the Warriors their flowers. I think Steph and Clay are very great individuals. I do appreciate their character.
Here you go.
You know what I'm saying? They are really...
You know that Curry's photogenic.
You know, it's very family friendly face. You know, that's probably the best way to say it. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're a little on the dorky side.
You don't say greatest shooter of all time.
Steph Curry is the best long range shooter in any gym of all time. Yeah, you're right. That's probably the most unique attribute that he has.
I was argue shooter, but you want to say long range. You do what you gotta do.
Well, you know, I mean, that's what's defining him, is like his ability to effortlessly shoot from behind the arc, like even like 2, 3, 4, 5 feet away. Like that's what he does. Draymond, he's a great podcaster.
Oh man, here you go.
You know, hey, I saw. Hey yo,
out of the bay.
Real talk, man. I saw Draymond in game 2 put a Kurt ankle lock on Grant Williams, and the referee didn't see it. I think he was incapacitated or something. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm watching WWE or watching.
When the ref always get knocked out at the critical moment.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, Kevon Looney.
Grant should have tapped out. That's on him.
Well, he didn't know that was the game that they were playing. I thought he thought they were playing basketball, but Draymond was like, nah, hut. He decided he was going to, whatever. Ndamukong Suh, he embodied Ndamukong Suh. He's probably one of the best Ndamukong Suh impersonators in the NBA. I mean, it's good though because he
didn't get the steel chair, so.
He did everything. So this is the thing. He did everything they needed to do to win the championship. So if you need someone to cut the lights off the AC, get some people cramps, I think Draymond would have been the one to do it. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying there are people who have
cut
roles.
The AC and gave people cramps.
Yeah. I'm just saying he's
San
the one.
Antonio Spurs. So what you trying to say?
I'm saying. You know,
in their championship year against the Miami Heat. What are you trying to tell us?
I'm saying
winners win. That's what you're telling us.
I'm saying that the Warriors have a certain DNA, and everyone knows their role.
Championship DNA.
Yeah, and
Bill Belichick.
if it's like, hey, Zaza, go out there and make a play. Zaza knows what the play is.
So this is like the Karate Kid. We don't gotta explain the play.
You know
the play.
You know what the play is. You know what I'm saying? Kevon Looney, he actually stepped up. Like, he got out of his shell. He just found his home. As being a big body, a rebounder. He's just a dirty, gritty guy on a respectable, like on a fair side. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a good cop. Draymond's a bad cop.
20 points. You got 20 points or something too. So
I mean,
shout out to Kayvon.
So Kayvon, whatever. I respected it. Andrew Wiggins finally woke up. He became more locked in as the playoffs. Like, I'm giving people props. Like, I see it. You know what I'm saying? So
did he lock in or did the game come to him?
No, he locked in. He locked in.
Okay.
I feel like he locked in. I think he just became more engaged. And like I said, he had more times mentally on than mentally off. as the playoffs progress. So I give the Warriors their credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Clay finally showed up and scored 19 points at one time, or 20 something points at one time. But that's all they needed. They only needed one game from Clay, and Clay gives you like one game a series that series, so that's fine. I know he's still recovering. You know, Gary Payton, he showed back up. He got himself the bag. So, you know, everyone did what they're supposed to do, and I'm not knocking it. You know what I mean? I would have liked to see the Celtics win, because I would like to see the Celtics have another, you know, championship, you know, hanging in the Raptors, make the Laker fans mad that now they got to really get one, and it becomes this whole like LeBron better do it, like the narrative. But you know, it's all good. I'm happy for the people who are happy for the Warriors. So yeah, I do give them the credit. So I just kind of wanted to clarify, because you know, you made it seem like I was not giving them props. I feel like I gave them abundance, a compliment basket.
I'm just saying, you be talking about their credit score and their standing with the community. Like, you be talking about all this ancillary stuff. You just don't like to give them their basketball props.
I think all of that is the total package.
Okay.
So
I ain't never heard nothing about Ja Morant's standing in the community or his credit score, but you know,
people love,
he's a great guy.
People love Ja. People love Ja. You know what I'm saying?
Ja's a great dancer. Like, I don't be hearing none of this silly stuff.
The gritty is nice. You know what I'm saying? So he's good at the trash.
Is that like his official dance?
No, it's not his official dance, but
I'm saying, like, is that like his not that he made it up. I'm saying, is that like his signature dance? But I feel like he only doing the gritty. Every time I see him in the video, he's doing the gritty.
I mean, that's what he likes to do. I don't know, man. So the young kids, they do that stuff, man. So yeah. Anything else, man? I think we went through all your list of things, man. We finally caught you up. We got to hear your feedback. Anything else you want to add, man?
Oh man, I missed y'all. So it was a pleasure. Let us know what y'all thought. Was this a good recap? Would y'all like more content like this? Hit us up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
No factoids tonight. A factoid dude is down. Maybe he could he'll email y'all a factoid or something.
Man, if he email y'all, y'all heard from him more than I heard from him. I don't know where he at. I heard he said he out. He the SpongeBob me. He just headed out, and I ain't heard from him.
Did you give him the max contract? You might have asked for the max contract. You ain't getting the max.
No, I'm gonna see how what the market says, and then I'll match it. You know what I mean? So I may match it. You know, I'll consider.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for everyone who stuck with us, man. This is actually kind of a longer episode, but I do appreciate everyone who stuck around. Let us know, man, what y'all thought, man. You know, Reg's hot takes, he had a lot of them, and you know, some of the slander he tried to throw my way. I don't know why he thought I was out here hating on the Warriors, like I don't have to hate on the Warriors.
California,
America.
When you talk about the Warriors, bro.
America hates the Warriors. So the other 49 states
feel like it.
So but yeah, man, let us know what how you guys feel. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment if you have something to say, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Again, it helps us grow if they got their eyes on the too, because they're gonna like and subscribe and tell them the same thing that I told you. You know what I mean? So again, we're here every Tuesday, so hopefully next Tuesday we have the full squad and all that. So until next Tuesday, I'll catch you on the flip side. Deuces.